Hello, elementary math friends. We are here with Rubric 7. The evidence source for Rubric 7 is prompt 3, and the evidence you're pulling from your video clips to provide responses to this particular prompt. There are two key elements of the rubric. The first is engaging children in developing understanding of mathematical concepts. This is the primary criteria for this rubric. So if you answer this question sufficiently, that will be enough for you to get a 3 on this rubric. If you're moving from a 3 to a 4 or a 5, we'll really be talking about this latter part as well. But let's start with the first piece. If you take a look at the Understanding Rubric Progressions document, you'll see that an example of evidence at a level 3 for engaging children in developing understanding of mathematical concepts demonstrates this look at polygon shapes. So students sort a group of polygon shapes. When the students are finished grouping the shapes, the candidate has them share why they grouped the polygons how they did. Most groups in this example sorted by the number of sides, so that the candidate, the student teacher, tells the students that polygons with a certain number of sides have a certain number of a certain number of sides have a certain name. For example, a triangle, a quadrilateral, pentagon, etc., and records the names of the shapes on a chart. At this point in the example, the student teacher moves along to another activity, which leaves the understanding at a fairly cursory level, but sufficient to show that you've engaged students in understanding this mathematical concept. So the concept of the connection between the number of sides in a polygon and the name of the polygon. So this is just one example in your rubric progressions. If you take a look at the next page of your rubric progressions, it offers additional examples that move you up to a level 4 or a level 5. The through line in these additional examples is that you're moving to you're providing additional opportunities for students to practice coming up with a hypothesis of a relationship, and then to be able to receive feedback in terms of the work that they've done in developing this hypothesis to show understanding of a particular concept. The secondary criteria in this particular rubric is how did your instruction connect new learning with prior academic learning and personal, community, and cultural assets. And so if you take a look back at what you wrote for prompt 2 in task 1, you identified for your students in terms of your planning what they knew, what their prior academic learning was in relation to your central focus, and their assets in relation to your central focus. What you have the opportunity to do here is to identify the ways in which your teaching, your instruction, connected the new learning, what you're trying to teach, with what students already know and the assets they bring into the classroom. So you'll want to look for evidence from your video clips that shows the way that you try to make these particular connections. And so with the evidence that you pull from the video clip, you'll want to give sufficient context, talking through why you made a particular instructional decision based on prior academic learning, or why you chose a particular resource or made a particular connection or instructional decision based on your understanding of the personal, community, and cultural assets that your students were bringing into the classroom. Type this up, knock it out. We'll soon move on to rubric 8 and prompt 4A.